also just say one thing while I'm on my way to get my granddaughter. You know, I want to just shout out, we have some amazing young people. I've been watching some of the footage of the march on all across, you know, I think they said 3 continents. I mean, you know, where these young people are really standing up, crying out, opening up their mouths and fighting for gun control and all that encompasses. Not to take anybody's rights away. I think people panic. It's not about that. Even to the point of getting the proper health care screenings to people who possess guns and shouldn't have them. Putting more, again, programs in place so that we don't have to worry about people who shouldn't have guns, how they shouldn't have them. So just all that encompasses. I think people hear that and they focus on one thing. Oh, it ain't the guns, it's the person. Oh yes, we know this. We know this. But just like it ain't the, you know, the drug will kill you, it's the people who use them, right? But you have to place stuff in the system to thwart it, so it's not so easy and accessible to people that shouldn't have it. You know, that's just a, you know, a simple analogy. We know a lot of things kill in and of itself. The drug can do nothing unless yet the person taking it and they consume it. The alcohol doesn't do anything as long as in there in that bottle. You see what I'm saying? Long as that alcohol stays in that bottle, the alcohol, of course, itself can't do anything to you, but the person who consumes it. So we know this. We know this. Let's not be ignorant of those type of things. We know this. But if you don't put a regulation on certain things, i.e. bartenders, they know if a person seems too inebriated, they know the law says you no longer can serve that person. I don't care how much money that person has. I don't care how much free will that person decides to intake and consume that alcohol. That bartender has to be at a point, and the law has helped to regulate those things that, and people just put in just as business owners. No, once I see you staggering drunk, I'm not serving you. In some places, they have to call a taxi or a cab so that they don't jump in a car and kill somebody. And like I said, I'm sure it varies from state to state and place to place. But at some point we have to, again, we cannot be silent on these things, you know. And so I just applaud these young people from all skin colors, from all races, who are making it be known, and they recognize some of these teenagers. They're 17, but they'll be 18 in May, and they will be eligible to vote. And let me tell you something. I pray and lift every teenager up. It could be your child in your household who was part of that march, who is maybe spoke at that march. And we have to be there for these children. We really do. We have to support these children. Yes, we have to continue to guide them and make sure that they don't run astray and run amok. But oh my God, powerful, powerful speeches. And they recognize it's not about us being out here speaking. It's about us taking action, because they know their parents are either going to vote this way or that way, but they also are out there emboldening themselves. They are saying to themselves, you know what? We are on the precipice of being part of this political process, i.e. when we turn 18. You got a lot of seniors that will be 18 years old and will be voting this 2018 election. And so they recognize when they hear bull crap, they recognize the real. And so I just want to applaud them. I just want to applaud them. And I may not be out there in the trenches up there in Washington and that type of thing, but you know what? I will lift it up in prayer. I will send my funds and give my money assignments to help the cause. I will continue to give to the GoFundMe as it relates to What was that? Oh, good God Almighty! I thought that was a raccoon running. That was a big old bird. But yes, I just want to lift these children up. My God, they have, honey, they are on a moving train. And honey, if you ain't on, you're going to get left behind. That's just the realness of it. So don't underestimate the minds. I know we can always, you know, as parents or adults, you know, it's always about what we think and what we say. And just because this is what I say and do it. But sometimes we have to give pause and sit back and allow these young people to really express their experience. And I think that's what it is. When those young people went up to their city councilman offices and their senators' offices and their House of Representatives, and they got a bunch of hoopla, oh my God, nobody likes to be dismissed. Nobody likes to be on the receiving end of somebody dismissing you because you're a certain age, or you're a certain race, or you're not in a certain income bracket, or you don't live in this zip code, or you don't live in this house, in this cul-de-sac, or housing, you know, you're not part of this subdivision, you know, so people are very dismissive of you. But let me tell you something. These children recognize, oh, no. You're not going to dismiss me. It's not going to be that easy. You're going to have to hear what we're saying. And I applaud them. I really do. Some of them can get a little rowdy and stuff like that. But for the most part, the positive of what they're doing has outweighed any negative that anybody wants to label them as being unruly children. Yeah, you might hear one or two incidents where one of them may have been using profane language and blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, it's been very peaceful, you know? And they've taken their punishment on the chin too, because some of these school districts have you know, punished these children if they leave class and do that 17-minute of prayer in honor of those 17 students who died down there in Florida, who were killed and shot. You know, they had to go on for detention, Saturday detention. You know, a lot of them, you know, I say, look, go, take your detention. Because sometimes when you're trying to do a movement, there's got to be some kind of sacrifice. So take it, take it. Show the adults that you can handle it, that you can take your punishment, that you can do what you're supposed to do. Now they need to do and get up off their butts. And that's politicians on both sides. Get up off your butts. You know, you're supposed to be representing the people, and not only special interest groups who flood thousands and millions, millions and millions of dollars to your campaign. But again, I don't want to get all off on that tangent, but I did want to just come on here and say, if any of the teenagers that watch do everything in decency and order. Don't be unruly, don't display bad conduct, but you do have a right to speak out. You're the ones that's going to this school in fear that somebody might, you know, pop off. You know, that's y'all's experience. And like I said, most teenagers, most young people, they get frustrated because we as adults we can be dismissive of their experience. Or sometimes we forget that was our experience at one time. You know, we are, if we're older and still living, guess what? We went through being teenagers and stuff. But thanks be unto God, when I was going through school, the worst we had was, you know, school fights, school rivalries with fist fights. But now, and we didn't have to worry about guns and knives and all that. At least not where I went, not in my school. But nowadays, oh yeah, it's a real live threat for these children. You know, like that young man said, look, I wanna go to school and learn math and science, and not worried about if I'm gonna get shot and killed. But anyway, I know I'm just, you know. But anyway, like I said, I want to applaud. I really do. I really do. And sometimes as parents, we have to just stop and just listen. Just listen to our teenagers and hear what they're saying. Amen. Anyway, on the road to go get my grandbaby.